Well, Donald Trump is turning up the heat on Iran, but this time his warning is not just for Tehran. The American president is now threatening any country that does business with Iran, warning of what he calls tremendous economic consequences.
From China to Kiev, Pakistan, Iraq and the UAE, Iran's trading partners are now in the spotlight as the war enters a new phase. The big question is, can Trump isolate Iran without pulling the rest of the world into an economic war? It is a new warning and it is deliberately broad. President Trump has declared what he calls economic D-Day against Iran, promising what he describes as the most crushing economic operation ever taken against any country. However, this time, the target is not just Iran. Trump is now warning countries, banks, businesses, airports and government entities against providing any financial or economic lifeline to Tehran. He named oil smuggling, cash transfers, swap lines, exchange houses, ship registries and front companies. But it did not spell out exactly what punishment those countries could face. Trump's message is clear: help Iran and you could be next in Washington's crosshairs.
Well, the problem is some of the countries doing business with Iran for major economic powers and in some cases American allies. So that is Donald Trump. But remember, China is the biggest name on that list. Beijing is Iran's largest trading partner and has been the main buyer of Iranian oil, with estimates suggesting that China has purchased as much as 90% of Iran's oil exports. China has already rejected the idea that more sanctions will solve the crisis. Then there is the UAE, one of Iran's biggest commercial partners, which has now announced a halt to trade and financial transactions with Tehran. That move could hit Iran hard, remember, because Dubai's financial network has long been a critical channel for Iranian trade.
The map of Iran's trading partners shows why Trump's threats could have consequences far beyond Tehran. Turkey and Pakistan have continued massive overland trade with Iran. Iraq remains vulnerable to U.S. pressure because of its deep economic links with Tehran. The escalation comes after a 60-day ceasefire expired without a diplomatic settlement to the war. Trump has also come under growing pressure at home as the conflict pushes up energy costs and the U.S. heads towards the midterm polls. Iran, for its part, has used the Strait of Hormuz to pressure the global economy, disrupting maritime traffic and raising energy prices. Trump's frustration has also spilled over to America's partners. Earlier this week, he threatened Oman, a U.S. ally and mediator, and then posted a map describing parts of Oman, the UAE and Iran as a new U.S. territory. Washington has already tried economic pressure. In April, the U.S. launched a wave of sanctions against foreign banks and firms dealing with Iran, along with a naval blockade designed to cut off Iranian revenue. Chinese teapot refineries have also been sanctioned, but now the threat appears much broader. The options could include targeting oil buyers, banks, refineries, front companies and overseas financial assets. Iran is not backing down and says that its response to any new U.S. threats will be devastating. The Chief of Staff of Iran's Armed Forces, Major General Ali Abdullahi, said the Islamic Republic's reaction will be broad and decisive. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has also called Trump's threat a diversion from America's own economic problems.
So now Donald Trump is opening a new front in the war against Iran, not just a military front, an economic front that could reach China, India, the Gulf, Turkey, Pakistan and beyond. The UAE has already moved to cut economic ties with Tehran. China is resisting pressure. Other partners are now watching Washington's next move. The question is, will Donald Trump's economic D-Day force Iran back to the negotiating table or turn a war with Iran into a much bigger global confrontation?